I use a glycerin and rosewater hydrating spray instead of hyaluronic acid. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make it several ways, in case you're not a fan of rose. And I bet you want to know why I don't use hyaluronic acid. Well, let's make this real quick, and then we'll talk about that. You are going to need a glycerin. That's a food grade glycerin, preferably organic and derived from usually coconut or flaxseed, that it is just a single ingredient. And it'll usually say vegetable glycerin, but when you look at it, it should tell you where it was derived from. And it'll be derived from coconut, flax. Look for organic glycerin, preferably in a glass bottle. That's hard to find sometimes. Mine is not in a glass bottle, but do the best you can. You may also see glycerin made from palm oil. I don't recommend glycerin derived from palm oil. It's over harvested, and there are plenty of other really good options available. Then you will need a hydrosol. This is a rose water. You can also get lavender water, geranium waters. So you'll want your rose water, your glycerin, and if you don't buy your hydrosol in a little spray bottle, you'll need some sort of little spray bottle. Future me here. I filmed this video yesterday, and then this arrived today. This is my absolute favorite hydrosol. I'll also use this Lemon Rose hydrosol. This one has a light rose scent, and this one, it's pretty rosy. And if you're not a fan of rose, don't worry. The hydrosols come in all different flavors. I use the hydrosols with the glycerin because it adds the extra moisture, not to mention each one of them has their own little different benefits. I'm gonna show you how to make it by volume. I'm gonna show you how to make it by weight, and I'm gonna show you how Loanne makes it with the eyeball. So whatever makes you the most comfortable. Basically, it is 1 part to 2 parts. We'll do 1 part of the glycerin and 2 parts of the rose water. We're going to start with the correct way by volume. Use a little measuring cup that measures in ounces. Say you wanted to do a 3-ounce bottle. You could measure out 1 part would be 1 ounce. Pour it out to the 1 ounce mark. Then take your rose water and pour it up to the 3 ounce. Then you have 3 ounces of rose water to pour into any spray bottle. And there you go. If you don't have one of those little measuring cups, no biggie. You can take a mason jar and then just a measuring cup. This is 1/4 cup of the glycerin. And if you do it first, the rose water will rinse it out for you. And then I do 2 of the 1/4 cups of the rose water. Now you can use 1/2 cup if you like, but I don't like to make up too much of it at once. So just give that a stir, and then we're going to pour it into our little spray bottle. And then what doesn't fit into the spray bottle, if you mixed up more than this or your bottle's smaller, you can just label it. Put your lid on there, shake it up, you're ready to go. Just store that away until I have room for it in my bottle. We'll go back to yesterday me, and I'll show you how to measure by weight. To get 1 part to 2 parts, I would divide 3 into whatever ounces your bottle is. Mine is a 4-ounce bottle, so I divided 3 into 4, and that gives me 1.33 ounces. So how I would do that is, I'm going to want 1.33 ounces of glycerin. So we have our scale. We are going to hit tare. That takes it to 0. If you put your bottle on there, now you're going to have the weight of the bottle, so you want to hit tare again because that is going to put it back to 0. And we're going to put a little funnel in, and that's going to add the weight of the funnel. So we want to hit tare again, and that's going to put it back to 0. So now we're going to start pouring our glycerin until this says 1.33 because that is 1/3 of the 4-ounce bottle. So we're a little bit over at 1.34. No big deal. Now, if you want, you can fill this up to where it reads 4 ounces. And then you're going to know. See, we're right at 4.6 ounces. And you can see it's cloudy, and you can see the difference between the thickness of the glycerin and the thinness of the rose water. There you are. And then my way, I eyeball it. So if this is how my jar comes, so I get my bottle, look right here. If I broke that up into 3 parts, 1, 2, this would be the 3rd, so about right here. And I could mark that so I'd know. Just gonna take a bottle, keep it for later, maybe to a little more. And there, to me, that's about a 1/3. And then I just top that off with some glycerin. Clean it off, shake it up, it's ready to use. If it feels too sticky, add a little more rose water back in. It's so flexible. That's it, so simple. Now that we've made it, how do I use it? And then we'll talk about how it works and why I like it better than hyaluronic acid. I made a video where I go over all the reasons in detail why I chose the glycerin over the hyaluronic acid. If you're new here, my name's Loanne. I'm a licensed esthetician, and I've been transitioning to an all-natural skincare routine. So basically, after you cleanse in the morning, before you would put on any moisturizers, just mist this all over your face and neck. It smells lovely, and let that kind of settle in and dry a little bit, and then you could apply your moisturizers, makeup, whatever you do in the morning. And at night, I basically do the same thing. I mist this all over me. I'm pretty liberal with it. After that dries a little, I will add my oils and my castor oil. And if you use a tallow balm, this is where you would use that. So use it before you do your nighttime routine. Moisturizers, oils, whatever you do. Glycerin is in almost every skincare product, hair product. It's such a versatile, clean product. Why would I choose a glycerin over the hyaluronic acid? The reason is they do something very, very similar. And I go over all of that in depth in that video, the pros and the cons. But basically, they retain moisture and protect your skin barrier. In short, with hyaluronic acid, it pulls moisture from your skin to the surface. It pulls moisture from your skin and pulls moisture from the air. If it is pulling moisture from the skin and you are in a very, very dry environment and you have not put something very protective over that, it's going to pull moisture from your skin and evaporate. One of the best things I've found for youthful, glowing, healthy skin is protecting that skin barrier. The body's made to protect itself. So if we protect that skin barrier, let it do what it's made to do, that's the best anti-aging serum of all. If you've been using hyaluronic acid or something with it in it, it will have a different feel than this. So switching to the natural skincare is a commitment. We're used to products that have had ingredients added in so that they feel really smooth, light, and airy. And we've begun to expect everything to feel that way. And a lot of those ingredients are synthetic and not good for us at all. And some are even toxic. And that's important to me. And if you're even watching this video, it's probably important to you. So like I said, a lot of your natural ingredients may feel different. Now, if you have it too heavy on the glycerin, it will feel stickier, and if that's not to your liking, then you can back off of the amount of glycerin you add and add a little more of your hydrosol. It's flexible. Just play with it and get it to what feels good to you. You may be wondering, how long is this good once you mix it up? If you purchase a hydrosol, it'll last months. This, you'll use it up way before it even goes bad. Make homemade hydrosols, that is different. You absolutely can mix it with some glycerin. However, you'd want to make a small amount and use it up pretty fast within 3 to 4 days, and possibly even refrigerate it. You can also make this without purchasing a hydrosol. Like I did in that other video, I just used a filtered water. You could use filtered water or distilled water. You're just adding moisture and the glycerin. However, if you do that, make a small amount, maybe once a week, and use that up so that it doesn't go bad, because we're not adding any preservatives to it. Now, if you purchase your hydrosol, you don't have to worry about that, because it is the difference in the home distillation is they use a sterile environment with really high temperatures, and this doesn't need a preservative. It has a pretty long shelf life. Now, the different hydrosols, I'll link them all in the description. I get this one a lot because I can order it off Amazon and it's here like in 2 days, because sometimes I don't pay attention and I like to have this on hand at all times. This one's lovely. And this company, if you don't like to use from Amazon, it is called Leaven Rose. I buy a lot of their oils, so you can check that out. I also, and my absolute favorite hydrosol is from Mountain Rose Herbs, and it's a white rose hydrosol. They have a geranium or geranium rose hydrosol. They have lavender hydrosols, and each one of those are going to have little different benefits. It's usually going to be personal preference. Also, disclaimer, especially if you're super sensitive. If you've never tried, say, the geranium or a lavender hydrosol or the rose hydrosol, anytime you're trying something new, you want to make sure, test it, make sure you don't have any kind of reaction to it. But the glycerin, it's not something that many people have a reaction to. It's pretty mild. Now, if it's a coconut derived glycerin and you have a coconut allergy, well then pick a different one. Use your noggin. Be safe, but it's really pretty versatile. And I mentioned there are other ways that I use this. I'll use this on my whole body. That's why I love the Misty bottle, and I go through a lot of this. I just spray it all over, hit my back, let it kind of air dry a minute, and then I put on maybe my tallow balm or your moisturizer, whatever it is you use. I don't like adding anything to this. Just keep it the one liquid and the glycerin. And we discussed shelf life. I like keeping it in the amber bottles. That keeps it protected from light, and I just keep it on my makeup table. It'll last months. That is super easy, and it is so yummy. And I will link everything you need in the description and in the pinned comment below. And that's what I do here. I like natural stuff. So if that's what you like, hit like and subscribe, and I will have that hyaluronic acid video linked right here. I'll have that skincare video linked right here. I thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. My name's Loanne, and this is a Little Bit of Homestead.